Good day, it's 4th of May 2026. King Charles III became the second English monarch to speak before a joint session of the U.S. Congress last week. I'm Sam Buban. Welcome to The Pulse.
And I'm Effie Barker. Welcome to this week's edition.
King Charles III of the House of Windsor became the second English monarch to speak in a joint meeting of the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. His mother, Queen Elizabeth II, also spoke to Congress in 1991. King Charles III's visit and speech before the U.S. Congress was in response to a request by British Prime Minister Keir Starmer for the King to speak before Congress and the American people. The royal visit and the 30-minute speech in Congress was made during these uneasy times in U.S.-UK relations because by Trump's tariffs and on UK and the president's verbal attacks on NATO and the EU. King Charles III reminded the lawmakers and Americans that what America says matters to the world, likely referring to President's pronouncements, which the world watches, and in many cases alienate countries and people around the world, according to many political observers. King Charles III received a multiple standing ovation from lawmakers in the chamber as he spoke broadly but specifics on topics like the importance of democracy to world peace, defense of Ukraine, and protecting our environment for the next generation.
On President Trump's deportation program and the conduct of the Immigration and Customs Enforcement of doing a mandatory detention of suspected illegal aliens, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals that is based in New York disagreed with the Trump administration regarding its legality. In a 3-0 decision of Appeals Court panel in New York, the Second Circuit Court of Appeals rejected the Trump administration's policy of making many of the immigrants they are trying to deport subject to mandatory detention by ICE, including those who had been here for years. The Appeals Court panel called the policy the broadest mass detention without bond mandate in our nation's history. The panel wrote in their ruling that the administration's interpretation of mandatory detention sends a seismic shock through our immigration detention system in our society, straining our already overcrowded detention infrastructure, incarcerating millions, separating families, and disrupting communities. The three-judge panel was composed of Judge Joseph Bianco, an appointee of Trump, joined by Judge Jose Cabranes, a Clinton appointee, and Judge Allison Nathan, a Biden appointee. Last year, the Trump administration reinterpreted a 1990s immigration law to disqualify broad groups of immigrants living in the U.S. illegally from having the ability to ask an immigration judge to be released on bond after being arrested by ICE. Previously undocumented immigrants who lived in the U.S. for years are generally eligible for bond hearings, could seek to convince an immigration judge that they should be allowed to flight their deportation outside the detention center because they were not flight risk or threat to public safety. The Second Circuit ruling created a judicial divide over the mass detention policy, while most federal judges around the country declared the policy illegal. The Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals based in Louisiana and the Eighth Circuit based in Missouri have respectively endorsed the Trump administration's interpretation of mandatory detention. The Second Circuit decision applies to the state of New York, Connecticut, and Vermont. We're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned for an interview with Judge Jessica Green, who is running for Las Vegas Municipal Court, when we come back.
For over 15 years, I've defended rights, upheld due process, and will bring balanced judgment, compassion, and unwavering commitment to the Henderson Justice Court. If you live in Henderson, remember to vote in June, and remember, Hendren for Henderson.
Lance Hendren, fair, experienced, and ready to serve Henderson with integrity. Lance Hendren, the right person for the bench, paid for by the committee to elect Hendren for judge.
My family survived a genocide and war before we fled to America. With education and hard work, I became an attorney and activist. We made Las Vegas our home for the Nevada dream, opportunity and affordability. Today, that dream is in crisis. But by supporting working families, small business, affordable housing, and childcare, we will rise again. I'm Lena Hovanesian, and I'll be your champion on the Clark County Commission fighting for our Nevada dream.
Excuse me, are you Judge Mary Perry?
Yes, I'm Judge Mary Perry.
Looks like you're running for re-election.
Primaries June 9th, Family Court, Department P.
Department P, P for Perry.
Judge Mary Perry.
I'm Judge Mary Perry, and I approve this message.
With us now here at our Film TV studios is Jessica Green, candidate for Las Vegas Municipal Court Judge, Department 2. We once again explain to our audience worldwide that in the U.S., state judges are elected non-partisan position. Jessica, welcome to The Pulse.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Before we go into the questions, please tell us, our audience, some personal and professional background.
Okay. I've been an attorney in Las Vegas for more than 15 years. And for 7 of those years, I've been a pro tem judge in municipal court, meaning that the judges personally select me to sit in their place when they're unavailable. So I've been doing that for 17 years. I've presided over everything from arraignments to trials to sentencings over almost every specialty court. And in 2022, I was appointed, interim hearing master for Department 20 in municipal court, meaning I oversaw the department by myself for several months. So I've been doing the job, serving the community for 7 years, and I'm ready to do that full time now.
Did you say 7 years, right?
7 years, yeah.
Right. You are currently a judge pro tem.
Yes, I'm a currently pro tem judge, yeah.
Is that at the same department you're now running for this election?
It's in the same court. So the municipal court has 6 main departments and a traffic department. So it's in the same court, but I've overseen every department in the building.
Okay, basically, it's you know all those courts there.
Yeah, there's several departments. Yeah.
So pro tem judges are usually appointed position, if I'm correct. Yes.
Yeah, correct.
So when did you get appointed, and who appointed you?
So I applied in 2019. A mentor of mine was a pro tem judge in municipal court as well, and she recommended me for the appointment, just having worked with me for a long time and thought that I'd be good at the job. So I applied in 2019 and was appointed. The city council approves the appointment. So I think that they look at the whole application and then the city council approves it.
So
that's my understanding of how it happens, but I'm not behind the scenes. So I don't really know there.
What kind of cases are usually heard at the Department 2?
So municipal court oversees misdemeanors and city ordinance violations that happen in the city of Las Vegas. So that's the proper city limits, any misdemeanors or city ordinance violations in the city. So that's your routine trespasses, your shoplifting. The highest level crimes they see in municipal court are battery, domestic violence, and DUIs.
Okay. But that's also considered a court of a fact-finding court?
Correct, yeah. Yeah, the
determine,
way I look at it is it's a community court. It's the people's court. That's where most people will intersect with the justice system. That's where most of your traffic tickets go. That's your low-level crimes. And that's why the specialty courts are so important, because that gets to the root cause of why people are committing these low-level crimes, looking at the root cause in their lives, and understanding what we can do as a community to keep them accountable, but also put them on a path to productivity in our society.
Yes, and that sounds, we're learning.
Yes, yeah, we are.
There are so many courts. There's so many courts and so many judges up for election this cycle that it's hard to keep track of it.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
With that experience you have on the bench, is there anything new or any improvement you want to do in the court if you get elected?
Yeah. So I think that municipal court does a lot of things right, but there's always room for improvement. I would like to continue to build on what I know is working based on my experience, having seen it kind of from the outside looking in.
Yes.
I believe that there's more things the court can do to improve efficiency. Like we could send text reminders to folks for their court dates, which would reduce non-appearances, which would then reduce bench warrants, which would then reduce people in jail, right? So we take small steps at the beginning to serve the community better at the end.
Okay.
And doing that and continuing to support our specialty courts, which are very important, and getting, again, to the root cause of crimes, keeping public safety and accountability at the forefront.
Yeah, what's an example of a specialty court?
Yeah, each department, each of the 6 departments in municipal
Okay.
court has its own. They range from Veterans Court to Young Offenders Court to Women in Need. We have a Fresh Start Court, which is designed for homeless and indigent folks. And so instead of just laying down a punishment, it sets them in a program to where there are high levels of standards that they have to meet. There are testing requirements and counseling requirements, routine court appearances. They have to find and keep a job. So they really have to commit to a program. And at the end of that program, the reward that they get on the criminal side is they often get a reduction in their crime, or sometimes it's dismissed. But we're not talking about high-level violent offenders here. You're talking about lower-level crimes where people have lifestyle situations or life situations that sometimes encourage those kind of activities. So we get involved and give them a path and access to existing services to prevent that from happening in the first place.
Is this a 6-year term or a 4 years?
Municipal court judges have a 6-year term. My term, if I'm elected, will be 4 because the person that had the 6-year term retired 2 years into her term.
Okay.
So this seat will be up again in 4.
So it's like the remainder of that term.
Correct.
Right.
Of the particular judge.
Yeah, this is technically like a special election
Yeah,
because
special
she's set for
election on
2
one
years
year.
of her 6-year term. Mhm.
I see.
Yeah.
After the June primary election, is this one of those scenarios where if you get the more than 50%, you don't have to go to the general
Yes.
election?
Yes, absolutely. And I am working hard to achieve that. You know, I think that what makes a good candidate doesn't always make a very good judge sometimes. So I'm more of a cerebral, read at home type of person. And being in a campaign, you have to be everywhere all the time. You're constantly self-promoting. And that's a little bit difficult for the type of personality that I think you want in a judge, right? So that's a little difficult. So I'm trying to win in June. But yes, in this race, in a nonpartisan city primary, if I get 50% plus 1 vote,
Yes.
then you win and you don't have to go to the general. If you don't, then the top 2 performers in that race will move on to the general.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Mhm.
is this a crowded dinner? How many are you competing for that same spot? Or that
3 of
seat?
us.
3
Three of us are
not
vying
so
for
bad,
the spot. Yep. Mhm.
I got some bench that there are like 5 to 6 candidates.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm
Yeah.
grateful there's only 3 of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you are well experienced and
Yeah.
you're already sort of doing this job already.
Yeah. Mhm.
How has your experience helped your decision to run?
Yeah, so it's interesting. After having been a pro tem for 7 years, I think that it almost should be required sometimes because
Right.
what I've learned in 7 years, I can implement on day 1. So I don't believe it's a job that you should learn on the job from day 1. You're making real decisions for real people's lives that have real consequences. And over 7 years, I've learned what works and what doesn't. I've learned what kind of temperament you have to
Yeah.
control yourself because people yell at you, they threaten you. You have to maintain composure when you're giving consequences to people that they really don't like. And at the same time, you have to treat them with respect and dignity because you're there to serve them. You're in a public servant position and you have to serve them and do that appropriately. Give them the time and the consistency that they need. And what I would really like to do is do that in a way that allows people to have trust in the institution itself. So when you come into my courtroom, you know what to expect, you know what consequences I'm going to lay down, and you know who you're going to see every day when you're in there. Yeah.
Thanks for expounding it for us.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm really passionate about this. I could talk about it all day.
Well, we are almost out of time for this segment.
Okay.
Last words are yours. You can talk to your audience and say what you wanted to tell them.
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Jessica Green, and I'm running for Municipal Court Department 2. Having been a pro tem for 7 years, I'm ready to do the job on day 1. I will take the role with consistency, fairness, and preparation, and I would be honored to earn your vote. Thank you.
Jessica Green, candidate for Las Vegas Municipal Court Judge, Department 2. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and good luck on your race.
Thank you. Thank you.
Don't go away. We have important news on Supreme Court decision on the Voting Rights Act when we come back.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. The Voting Rights Act of 1964 is practically dead, as the important aspects in the law regarding fair representation has been dismantled by the conservative wing of the U.S. Supreme Court. For months, states around the country and voter rights advocates waited for the Supreme Court decision regarding challenge to Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act of 1964. The law that created opportunities for Black and other minorities to be able to elect their choice of representation was ended last week in a 6-3 votes. Chief Justice Roberts voted with the 5 other conservative Republican-appointed justices to end Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, with Justice Samuel Alito writing the majority opinion. The 3 liberal justices, Justice Elena Kagan, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, and Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, offered their dissenting opinion that was penned by Justice Kagan. In Alito's majority opinion, he said that racial gerrymandering should no longer be unlawful because racism in this country does not exist anymore, and that after decades since the Civil Rights Act, the country had made progress and race is no longer an issue. Analysts, including lawyer Michael Popak, of the host of the podcast Legal AF, said that Chief Justice Roberts had been working on ending the Voting Rights Act for 20 years, chipping away those rights by pieces until the law is no longer functionally available. Before this decision, the previous big decision the Roberts Court handed down as a ruling was that political gerrymandering is not illegal. And now this racial gerrymandering is no longer illegal. Republican-led states where the governor and legislatures are controlled by their party had waited for this in earnest so that they can do further cracking and packing and dilution of congressional districts in favor of Republicans and deny people of colors who have plurality in a contiguous area the ability to elect their choice of candidate for a meaningful representation. Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida has immediately ordered a new map to be redrawn by the Florida legislature as soon as the Supreme Court decision came out, hoping to get more Republican advantage in the midterm election. But other political analysts and statisticians considers many of the gerrymandered districts by Republicans as actually spreading thinly Republican voters in a wider area, which may actually diminish their chances of winning, especially in today's atmosphere that Republicans are losing in elections even in traditionally Republican-held districts.
Let's take a commercial break, but stay tuned for an interview with Tanya Flanagan, running for Clark County's recorder in June 9 primary election, when we come back.
Pure Medical Equipment provides top-notch quality medical supply equipment. Whether to rent or buy, Pure Medical Equipment and Supplies has it all.
Pure Medical Equipment is committed to serve and give back to Southern Nevada.
We deliver medical supplies and rentals to your door.
Welcome back to The Pulse. Also joining our show today is Assemblywoman Tanya Flanagan, now a candidate for county recorder for Clark County, Nevada. Tanya, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really pleased at the opportunity to be here to sit and have some time to talk with you.
All right. First off, before we go into the questions, please tell us some personal and professional background about yourself.
Well, Sam, thank you for the question. I've lived here for 31 years. I'm originally from Arizona, but I've been in the Valley for a really long time. I came here as a reporter and then did some time in gaming before joining the county. So I worked for Clark County for 23 years, yes. I currently work in the recorder's office. I started off with the commissioner, so as a commission liaison for District D and part of District B, which are currently represented by Commissioner William McCurdy II and Marilyn Kirkpatrick. But when I came in, it was Commissioner Gates, and then I worked through Commissioner Weekly's term as well, and then across all 7 of the commission districts. And in the community, a lot of board service. I've worked with After School All Stars, which focuses on education deficiencies. Susan G. Komen as a breast cancer survivor. I volunteered and led that organization as well, and spent some time also working just on a number of other, the Las Vegas Urban League and the Urban Chamber as well. So we spent a lot of time across the Valley in communities, as a member of different organizations. So it is a pleasure to spend some time and share that information with you.
Yeah, and
and your viewers.
Spent most of your life now on public service and community service. Okay, now let me ask, what does a county recorder do, and how does it vary from a county clerk in duties?
Well, thank you again for the question. I did mention that I serve in the state legislature, which I represent District 7, and so it's a direct tie because both the county clerk's office and the county recorder's office are governed by Nevada revised statutes, which are set by the legislators. And the primary difference is that the recorder's office records documents on property, liens, mapping, things like that. The primary distinction with the clerk's office is that they take in marriage licenses. They issue marriage licenses and do fictitious firm names. So that's the distinct difference. The recorder is governed by the Chapter 247, and the clerk is governed by Chapter 246 of the Nevada revised statutes. And so
more like the recorder are something to do with properties.
So when you buy your house, your title is recorded in the recorder's office.
Okay, and liens are also
recorded in the recorder's office. The clerk also takes the notes on Board of Clark County Commissioner meetings. So they do that, and they primary popular things are DBAs and
that's
fictitious
the county
firm names.
clerk. Yeah.
County clerk. Yeah. So the recorder's
Isn't it that the county clerk also has a division that administers local elections?
That is the Register of Voters office.
Okay,
so in our county and in some other states, you'll see the overlap between a recorder or a clerk that has a responsibility to elections. But here in Clark County, we have our elections department, and we have a Register of Voters that oversees our elections department. Yes.
I see. Good to know.
Yeah, so they're distinctly different. Thank you for asking.
So in the election for the county recorder, the candidates are partisan, is that right?
It is a partisan race, so you'll see a Democratic ballot for that, and your ballots will start to go out early May. Early voting starts on May 23rd and goes to June 5th, and then election day is the 9th. So it's a partisan race. You'll see your Democratic ballot and you'll see your Republican ballot. So we are right now dealing with the primary space. And then in November, we'll see who won on the primary for the Republican candidates and then for the Democratic candidates.
Right, right.
And that means, you know, if you're not a registered Democrat, you cannot vote on the primary for Democrats, and neither are you able to vote if you're not a registered Republican.
Right.
So that's why the independents don't have primary. They go all the way to the general election. Yeah.
Interesting. When you've been working in that department for many years, is this the first time you're running for this position in the county?
It is the first time, and I've been with the county for 23 years. As I mentioned, I started as a liaison to commissioners, so I worked with the Board of Clark County Commissioners, with the county manager's office, the deputy county managers, and we have 38 departments, so all of the department heads and the divisions, because I was in a communication capacity, so public information administrator with the county. And so I've been with the recorder's office for a couple of years as a senior training coordinator, and I work directly with the administrative team. So the recorder herself, Debbie Conway, assistant recorder, and then the supervisory level administrative team over our reporting process, our information technology arm, and our audit division. So I've been in that space for a couple of years now. So it's been a really exciting addition, I work with the Recorder's Office throughout all of my time in the communication capacity, making sure the public constituents could get answers from the Recorder's Office and get information that they needed, and making sure it was supported on our county website. So, yes. Yeah.
Say when you are elected,
Yes.
I wouldn't say if.
I love
when you
speaking
are,
things into existence.
yes, when you are elected, what are the policies that you would like to see implemented?
I would like, so already actually we're underway with conversations with our government affairs team, I am anyway, to talk about, we have a lot of conversations in the community about fraud. And so we want to make sure that, I mentioned being a legislator, and I mentioned that because the statutes that are established by persons like myself who are legislators govern the offices of the recorder, of the clerk. So I want to see some, some additional teeth put in around fraud to make sure we're keeping the public safe and we're giving the offices the tools that they need to serve the public well. And some of the policy change may be an internal one, really akin to county policy, and not necessarily at the statute level, but just related to internal operations. I'd like to see some modernization of our workflow, how we're tracking the processes that are going on in the office, whether it's refund policies. The office sees $10 to $12 million annually that comes through it, and then probably about $175 million or more in real property transfer tax dollars. So making sure that if someone does a transfer and there's a refund needed, we're tracking that policy as efficiently and effectively as we can to ensure that the turnaround to the customer is as short as we can possibly make it. And if we can improve upon that, I like to do that. That's one thing.
Yeah,
I can share that with you.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Is this a 2-year or a 4-year term of office?
The recorder is a 4-year term.
4-year term.
Yes, a 4-year term. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we are towards the end of this segment. I'll give you the floor to talk to your voters, what you'd like to say to them.
Well, I just want to say thank you to you for allowing me to be here. And I want to say to the voters, I hope that I can earn your support. Please visit my website. It's votetanyaflanagan.com. I am endorsed by the outgoing county recorder as well as Commissioner William McCurdy II and many of our labor unions, SMBTU, Western Area Carpenters Union, Local 525 Plumbers and Pipe Fitters. And that's because my work ethic speaks for itself and has for a very long time through my time in the legislature and boots to the ground in the county for more than 23 years with the county and 30 years as a resident. So I've enjoyed my time. I've always worked hard. I am built on integrity, honesty, and experience. And so I hope that you will take the time to get to know me. I hope that I can earn your vote. And when those ballots go out in early May and early voting starts on May 23rd, I hope I can count on your support. Please get to know me. I'm Tanya Flanagan, and thank you for taking some time to listen to this interview. And thank you.
You're welcome. Tanya Flanagan, Assemblywoman, now candidate for Clark County Recorder. Thank you for talking to us today, and good luck on your race.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And to our viewers out there, please join us again next week here at The Pulse. I'm Effie Barker. Thanks for watching.
And I'm Sam Buban. God bless your week.